Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, maybe a few playthroughs. Don't do unboxings. We generally like to talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general, and in this video we're going to be talking about a reprint of the Reiner Knizia auction classic. We're going to be talking about Medici, and in this game you will be loading cargo onto your ships, hoping to buy the right commodities that will allow you to move up a few tracks, that will give you points that will hopefully allow you to win the game. So in this video we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We're telling you what we do like, what we don't like. Then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Medici is still worth your time and bother ages after it was first released, whenever it was released. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you after this. Bollocks. So, Medici, how'd you play this game? So Medici is an auction game for 2 to 6 players. Each player is going to place their ship token on the number 30 spot on the victory point track. Victory points are money, and money is victory points in this game. You're going to put all of your coloured markers on the 8th spot of all of the different coloured tracks, right? And depending on the number of players, you're going to pull a certain number of commodity cards out of the commodity deck. So what you're going to do on your turn, you're going to draw the top card of the commodity deck. You're going to look at it, put it in front of everybody, and then you're going to decide whether or not you want to stop or draw another card. You can stop drawing cards after you've drawn 1 or 2 cards, but you can't draw more than 3 cards. Once you've decided that you want to stop drawing cards, then you will present the cards as a lot for auction, right? Everyone will have 1 bid and 1 bid only, and the player to the left of the person that offered the lot for auction will open the bidding. So it stands to reason that the player that presented the lot will bid last. You have to make sure that you've got enough victory points / money in order to bid, and you'll say, like, I don't know, 10, and then the next player in clockwise order will have to increase that bid. You can always pass, which means that you are out of that round, and then the auction will end when everyone but 1 player has passed, or it gets to the player that offered the auction and they bid the highest. Player who won the auction will pay for it in victory points, and then you'll take the cards that were offered in the lot and you'll put them on your ship board, right? There are some not really fiddly rules, but there's some rules for the auctions. You can't split a lot, so if there's some shit in there that you don't want, you can't just throw it overboard. Players cannot buy more cards than their ships can hold, right? This is a bit weird in the rules, doesn't really make a lot of sense, but we'll get to that in a bit, right? Once you've filled your ship up, then that's it. You can't bid on any more auctions, and you can't bid on an auction with a value of 0. All bids must be at least 1 florin in value, right? And get something for nothing in this life, do ya? So when all but 1 players have filled their ships up with shit, then the last player takes enough cards from the top of the deck to fill their own ship. This is going to be sort of like a random load of crap that you might draw, but then you might draw some decent shit, right? And then you'll do some scoring, right? You'll add up the value of all of the commodities that you have bought, and you'll look at a little chart in the rule book, and it tells you how many points you're going to score if you've got the first or second most valuable cargo, and then you'll count up how many of each commodity you bought, and you'll move your marker up on that respective track. Once you've done this, then you'll score the commodities 1 by 1. The player who's got the highest position on each track will get 10 points, and the second highest will get 5 points. And if you get to the top 3 levels, you get 5, 10 or 20 points / florins as a bonus. Once you've done this, the next day will begin, and once the third and final day has been scored, then the player with the most florins will be the winner of Medici. What do we like about Medici? So the first thing that we really like about Medici is that it utilises the age-old Reiner Knizia mechanism, where victory points is money and money is victory points. So you're going to have to spend your victory points in order to invest in cards that you hope will push you up those tracks that will give you more points. It's like an auction game that has a funk of area control, because you're going to be wanting to get the majorities on those tracks. So if you spend too much of your dosh on shit cargo that's not going to push up your counters on the tracks, then you are going to be royally fucked, right? And if you don't spend enough money, then you're going to lose the auctions and you're going to be left scrambling around in the dirt trying to pick up crap off the top of the deck. So a fine line needs to be drawn between spunking your dosh up the wall and being a little bit frugal. The second thing that we really like about this version of Medici is the production is really, really nice. They've brightened up the palette on this one. If you look at the old version of Medici, we have got it it down there somewhere, but you can be fucked if I'm getting down into the depths of that shelf trying to pull it out. I might do, but I highly doubt it. If you look at this version compared to the old version, it looked like it'd been pulled out of an old people's home. They've added some character faces to this, and it just looks a hell of a lot better than that stuffy old farty version that we had before. So the final thing that we like about Medici is that you may have to buy shit that you don't need in order to invest in the stuff that you do need, yeah? Where there are so many different tracks that you need to invest in, you can't do everything. Sometimes you might find that you've got a hard on for the red track, only to see that you can't get the majorities in there because you can't get the cargo to push you up that track. So you're going to have to leave that one in limbo, right? It's not unusual in this game to see the affiliations with each type of cargo change throughout the game, and buying that one piece of booty that you may not need in order to get the stuff you do need may take up a valuable space in the future, right? So yeah, there's that age-old conundrum where you're going to have to decide when to let some cargo go and when to buy the shit you don't need. Don't be like about Medici. So the first thing that we don't like about Medici is something that we alluded to while we were trying not to make mistakes on the rules, right? There's a portion in the rulebook when it goes on about the auction rules, and it says that a player may select a lot that contains more cards than they themselves can carry. However, they cannot present a lot for auction larger than at least one player can fit in their hold. And that sort of seems like a bit of a contradiction in terms. I know there's always one person out there that's going to go, how the fuck could you not understand what that rule means? My 2-year-old understood what it means. You're fucking stupid. But when it says a player may select a lot that contains more cards than they can, but they can't present a lot for auction larger than what a player can fit in their hold, I don't know, it just seems like a fucking contradiction, yeah? You're probably going to enlighten me in the comments, and that's a good thing, because as it stands, that don't really make sense to me. That made me stupid. The second thing that we don't really like about Medici, and this hasn't been fixed since the first version, is that it feels a little bit abstract and empty. Effectively, it's just a bunch of different tracks that you're going to be moving tokens up on, right? And I suppose maybe we're being a little bit nitpicky, but Reiner Knizia games generally are sort of themeless, and they have some stupid Renaissance economic shit pasted on just so that it's not like a load of shitty abstract tokens in the box, yeah? They have done something to try and fix this. They've added those like characters in there, but you're not really going to be bothering with those. There's nothing special about them, and it just would have been nice to have had something extra in this game, yeah? So the final thing that we don't like about this version of Medici, and I suppose this leads on from the previous point, is that there are no variants in this box, and there's nothing to link the game with those characters, yeah? It would have been nice to have had some sort of special player power as a variant. If you've got 6 different characters, why not just give them 6 different things that could break the game, yeah? Obviously, you don't have to play with it. If you want to play classic Medici, you can, but they should have had some kind of variant or player power stuff in this new version to differentiate it from the stuffy old version that we've hidden under the shelf there. To summarise, is Medici still worth your time and bother so many years after it was first released so many years ago? So we are going to say yes. Medici is a classic auction game that simply will not go away, and that is a really good thing, right? This version is purely an aesthetic enhancement, and as such could be seen as a missed opportunity. It's a carbon copy of the original, which can feel a little bit abstract and sterile, something player powers and variants might have improved immensely. But aside from this, Medici is a fast-paced, exciting auction game that everybody should play at least twice in their life. So there you go. That is Medici. Remember, if you are new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you next time.